All right, we're live, I think. Testing, testing. Anybody listening? Let me know that if everyone knows from last week my volume was acting up. So I'm just making sure that everything is in tip top shape. Our guest is running a little late, and great. Oh, wow. Oh, there we go. And we're live on Rumble too. So I put in the wrong channel, but anyways, welcome to the Rican show. It's episode 44, and Marissa's running a little late. She's having a little issue, but um, the show must go on. Let's let's get this party started. Let's see, which way do I want to go with this? Do I want to talk about Trump and his appearance at the UFC, or do I want to start off with how bad Biden is? You know what? Let's just start off with how bad Biden is. I'm gonna go with that. Um, but let me just, you know what? Let me just start with a story. So I was visiting my best friend in D.C. this weekend, um, and so this is what was going on. Um, I'm gonna take that off for 1 second. No, no, that's not what I wanted. So I was in D.C. this weekend. I was visiting my best friend. Um, which was funny. We were driving through. We were driving through. Excuse me. We were taking bus through DC. Um, we were going to a cider festival, which was a lot of fun. Um, Trying different local ciders. But anyways, that's beside the point. The point I wanted to talk about was when we were coming home. So when we get coming home, we have this Uber driver, and he's from Ethiopia, and he's telling us how in Ethiopia they have like 83 tribes, and that's what's causing so much conflict in Ethiopia. And I told him, well, same thing's going on here in America. I said, we have plenty of tribes too. I told him, you got Democrats, you got Republicans, you got people who say they're Republicans, you got people who say they're Democrats. You got communists, you got you got socialists, uh, you have capitalists, you have anarchists. We have a bunch of different tribes in this country. And he goes, yeah, but that's politics. I go, yeah, but it's still tribes. Doesn't matter how you break yourself down, it's still tribes. And I said, the problem is that we're getting to the point where um, people of different tribes can't be friends. And it's like my best friend is a Democrat on the liberal side, and I'm no longer a Democrat. Uh, I'm on the old school liberal side. But either way, my story behind this is so the driver out of nowhere comes and goes, "Oh, you know what?" He goes, "Look, he goes, if it's Trump Biden again, he goes, I'm voting for Trump." He goes, the economy, which is the next story I'm going to talk about. He goes, the economy sucks. He goes, the economy under Trump was so much better. He goes, I made so much more money when Trump was president. And I said, well, there's too many people voted on emotions and not on facts. They got you, especially with COVID, they put those death numbers and scared the shit out of you to vote for Biden. And then they also, um, it wasn't only that, it's all the lies that, they said Trump lied so many times. They kept a counter of all his lies. But meanwhile, where's the Biden counter? If people haven't realized it, people may have not realized that, I mean, all the lies Obama told too, but here we are, they keep telling lie after Biden keeps telling lie after lie, and nobody calls him out. But Trump says something about um, having one scoop of ice cream, and he had two. They make a big deal out of it. Let's impeach him because he lied about how much ice cream he had, and that's how it was for the past 4 years. And even now, you see all these indictments. It's like, let's talk about the New York one. The New York one, the banks, the New York State is saying that he overvalued the loans. And here's the whole thing: is he's not still paying these loans. He already paid off the loans. The banks are like, no, we're happy. We made money. The only people who are complaining is New York. And this is the whole thing. If he overvalued the house, the buildings, the banks got more money, and New York got more taxes. So where's the victim? Where's the victim? More, if he overvalued the property, he's still getting more money. He's still getting more money. The government's getting more money. The bank's getting more money. Where's the victim? Where's the victim? Don't get me started on what's going on in Georgia. They're starting to break down. They're starting to offer plea bargains, not because um, in order to get to Trump, is because their cases are crumbling. I think a lot of these lawyers who are some of these people who took plea bargains are going to end up regretting it. But anyways, I don't want, like I said, I don't want to go into that. Let's go into this story right here while we wait for Marissa to come in. So here's the thought. It goes here. DNC touts Bidenomics at work. Hours after new poll shows just 24% of Democrats say they're financially better off with Biden. I just want to know, who are those 24%? Like, were they really, was it that they just, they had bad luck when Trump was president, and now they have some good luck? But I mean, 24%. Look, I have a better job now than I did when Trump was president, but that doesn't mean that I think I'm better off because Biden's president. I'm not better off because Biden's president. I mean, I have to pay more for food. Thank God I have a better job. The prices of food from, when he first came into office till now is astronomical. Anyway, let me go keep going with this article. 31% of Democrats responded, said that since Biden moved into the White House in January 21, they have become either somewhat or much worse off, while just 24 said their position has improved. Voters are generally markedly less optimistic. A combined 16% say that they somewhat or much better off under Biden, while 32% say that they're somewhat worse off, or 23% say they're in much worse financial position. Uh, so it goes here. 32% of respondents said that Biden's policies had a very detrimental effect on the country's economy, and an additional 15% said they had a somewhat detrimental impact. A combined 26% said they had helped or somewhat or a lot. The same poll also found that inflation remains voters' biggest concerns with the current economy. And here's the whole thing. Look, if you look at when Biden came into office, look at what the price of gas was when he came into office. It's a big marker of what's going on in the economy, how everything's been it's so expensive. Let's say gas was around $2 a gallon. Now we're either pushing about 350 to $4, depending where you live. But here's the whole thing. I mean, they talked about that Trump was going to tank the economy. COVID did that. Trump didn't do that. Before COVID, the economy was on fire, and everybody was talking about that Trump was going to win. There's no way with the economy, being the way it is. There's no way that Trump could lose. And what happened? What did China do? Drop the virus. Oh, wait, hold up. Let me rephrase that. They, accidentally it was released on the world. Whether you want to look at it like, hey, China could have froze this in their borders, but they allowed sick people to travel outside of the country. They could have kept quarantines to make sure people weren't leaving their country, but they didn't. They didn't care for the rest of the country. Um, who are the 24%? Uh, I agree with you. It's like, I don't know who these 24% are. Those are also crooks. I'm there with you. I am so there with you. I don't know where these 24% of the people are. I mean, there's 24% of people who are going to vote Democrat no matter what. But to say that you're better off in a study just because you're a Democrat is just ludicrous to say that. But should I keep talking about how bad Biden is? Because here's another story. Uh, it goes here. Vulnerable Biden faces death by 1,000 cuts of third party candidates. Because now Joe Manchin's talking about that he wants to run, and you have RFK. Jill Stein announced that she wants to run again as a Green Party ticket. And then you have what's his name? West. What's his name? Hold up. It says it here. I always forget what's his first name. I know what he looks like. Or whatever. Funny hair guy. But anyways, um, it's showing here that combined Kennedy and West also earned 20 to 25% in recent polls conducted by CNN and Quinnipiac University, respectively. And Trump leads Biden by as many as 4 points in virtually every poll conducted, looking at 3 and 4-way races. The conditions are ripe for third party candidates to get a bigger share of the vote than they typically do. If Biden and Trump are nominated, both have weak favorability numbers, meaning a significant slice of the electorate will hold an unfavorable view of both candidates. This is what happened in 2016 when third party candidates got 6% of the vote. The third party candidates very often poll better than they perform. Wait, this is jump to. Oh, come on. It goes here. Okay, these can okay. Yeah, there you go. You should get some level of combined support. It's not all bad news for Biden, though Kennedy's polling at the highest levels for a third party candidate in 30 years. Independent bids rarely perform that well on election day. Yeah, remember they said that too with Ross Perot. Seth Massett, a political professor at the University of Denver, pointed to 2016 as an indicator that no matter the polling, voters tend to stay away from independent candidates in favor of the major party nominees. This was a telling election where you had two of the least popular party nominees in the history of polling. If in any year a libertarian candidate could also potentially erode support for Trump. However, libertarians have earned more than 3% in the general have never earned more than 3% in the general election. But this is what I'm going to say. They keep talking about Kennedy and Kennedy. Look, Republicans, if you're going to vote for Trump, don't fall for this Kennedy nonsense. They want to say that Kennedy's going to hurt Trump, and to an extent, you're going to have some of those Bernie people who voted for Trump in 2016. They're going to end up probably voting for Kennedy. But really, it's not going to affect them. You're going to see that in states like New York, whichever. I already seen it. I already see some people voting. Some people talking about how they're going to vote for Kennedy. But you know what? Trump's never going to win New York. So if Kennedy wins, you know, 10% of New York City voters, it's not going to dent Biden's win in that state. Sad to say, my home state. Yeah, sounds like they have some dirty dealings with the Biden administration, Biden administration, uh, the sniffer in chief. But yeah, so I mean that's what's going on with this. And here it goes. Here's the biggest thing that should be scaring Democrats and Biden right now is Biden losing support of Black Americans ahead of 2024 election. I guess they heard that they're not black. I guess they're not black anymore. They forgot that. If you don't vote for Joe Biden, you're not black. It goes here. Just 49% of black respondents said they would definitely cast their ballot for Biden. Let's see. Democrats have long been able to count on minority support in federal elections. This may be changing in the lead up to the 2024. Polling shows that a growing number of voters of color are crossing the aisle and backing Republicans instead. While many Black Americans enthusiastically threw their support behind Joe Biden in 2020, his failure to fulfill the promises he made has led to widespread disillusionment, resulting in fewer saying they'll vote for the same in the next presidential election. And this is what I'll say to my black friends. Trump told you, what do you have to lose? And he came through for you more than the Democrats have ever. When it came to HBCs, he gave them more funding than even Barack Obama did. And instead of making these colleges come back every year, he made it a regular. He made them regular donations, or however you want to say it, endowments to the colleges. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. According to a recent poll conducted by New York Times and Siena College, 71% of black voters said they'd support Biden in 2024, down from 92% in 2020. In contrast, Trump's share of the black vote jumped from just 8% in 2020 to 22%. Wait, what? Okay, so there you go. 2020 to 20. Oh, okay. I think this is a typo here. I guess it should say Trump's share of black vote jumped from just 8% in 2016 to 22% in 2020. I think that's what they're saying, but I'm not sure. It just looks off. But anyway, so our joke in chief is there while he's there struggling, not being able to know where he's going and not knowing where he's supposed to stand and where he's supposed to walk afterwards. While that's going on, let's see, this is going on in New York City. Let's see if I can make this. I don't want to make it full screen, but just want to show it better. Come on, open up. Of course. What's going on here? Yeah. Come on. Mixed martial arts fans, I know President Donald Trump taking his octagon seat for UFC 295. We got two title fights coming up at UFC 295. Here are our opponents live from Madison Square Garden. And President Trump will be here to witness all of it. Four of the very best fighters in the world set to take their cracks at light heavyweight and interim heavyweight gold, respectively. We move over to pay-per-view shortly. Thank you all for being here for the prelim coverage. There goes Donnie Jr. There goes Tucker. There's Dana White. that Jared Leto? Oh. Okay, let me pause that. Come on. Come on. Ah, there we go. Problem with live. Um, hey, Shiny. Um, I tried using OBS. I just had too many issues with it. It's not. It's not as user friendly as StreamYard is. I'll just. I mean, I may have to pay for StreamYard, but at least it's easier to navigate than OBS. I may try again, maybe in the summer. Maybe I'll play around with it while I do my summer break and see if I could um, get it to work. Because that's no problem. I never could manage to get the streams right. Doing like what I just did right now, going back and forth, I can never get it to work. All right, let me keep going with the stories. Which, in an ironic turn of events for Hunter and Joe, to keep with let's last Biden story. I swear, it goes here. Will Hunter Biden's fight against federal firearm violations reach the Supreme Court? Now, here's the irony. Um, it goes here. Last month, it goes here. The Supreme Court's 2022 New York Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin president. The ruling was vehemently condemned by Joe Biden, though Hunter Biden's lawyers see it as ammunition for his desired acquittal for his son, and or it goes here for the first son. But with that being said, here's the irony. So this may go to the Supreme Court, and the funny thing behind it is you have these decisions that have come up lately that show maybe some of the charges against him might be unconstitutional, which I'm okay with. It's still a black eye for Joe when Joe Biden's complaining about these rulings, and meanwhile it benefits his son. So I mean, it will make him look like make him look noble because look, oh, he disagrees with it. He's going against what the courts want, and but it benefits his son. So it's a win-win for him in that situation. So, okay. Sorry, bear with me. I'm like extreme. I think I'm coming down with a cold or something because I don't feel my energy level right now. Uh, that's why I try to bring friends on. Here it goes. This is very interesting, and this is a story I want to elaborate on. It goes, craziness erupts as man tries to stop Greta Thunberg turning climate demonstration into anti-Israel rally. So here is. So let me see. I'm gonna see if I could replay this. This one I don't care about making the whole video.
The people in power have not been listening. I come here for a climate demonstration, not a political hearing. Calm down. Climate justice on occupied land. No climate justice on occupied land.
Stupid people don't realize every land at one point was occupied. I had a dry boat, but I got better since I took care of it quickly. Yeah, Shiny. That's why I have all intentions of by 8:30. I'm gonna no later than 8:30. I'm gonna probably end the stream just because the fact that I'm feeling exhausted. But try to keep this every Monday, keep it consistent, so like that you people, who watch know that Mondays is you enjoy my show. I'll be on. But here, so this is the point I wanted to show about when it comes to climate change and how climate change is just why you see it's just left the agenda. It's just leftist, it's just Marxist agenda. And why do I say this? You see this, this whole thing goes hand in hand with the whole, this is about her chant here is against Israel, which meanwhile, it's like, here's the irony behind this. Everybody doesn't negate the fact that the Temple Mount was in Jerusalem and that the Muslims took over Jerusalem, built their, Dome of the Rock, all right? And then now they're saying that the land is occupied by Israel. But meanwhile, there were solutions offered to this in the 1930s, in the 1960s, in the 1990s. 2005, Israel left Gaza and the West Bank. They don't want peace. They just don't want Israel to exist. That's why they call from the river to the sea. It's not a peaceful protest like Rashida Tlaib is talking about. No, it's calling for the extermination of Israel, for the wiping of it off the planet, for however wording you want to put into it. It's not about peace. It's not about getting their land back. It's about taking it away from Israel. Sorry, hold up. This climate change scam is basically anti-farming, it's not about anti-farming, it's anti-humanity, because at the end of the day, and this is where I'm going to link the ultimate scam of climate change is Marxism. Okay, that's the ultimate um that's the ultimate scam of climate change, because their solution is give more power to the government by, here's the chant. So that's what they're screaming, anti-capitalista, which is just anti-capitalist. That's what they're screaming. And you see the black and red flag, and it says here, it is the black stands for anarchy and the red for communism. So whatever cause, whatever the current thing, the underlying point is always that that the present evil capitalist order must be turned out turned out to fix everything. Go see, what is it? Editors know. Help us continue the truth about Hamas atrocities against Israel again. But well, Marxists just hate private property. I mean, they hate farm. It's not they. Here's the whole thing. The problem was, like, especially like what you had in Russia that became the Soviet Union, and in China that became communist, is the fact that farmers owned their land. So in turn, they hated the landowners. And the what ended up causing all the starvations in the Soviet Union and in China was that when you take the land away from the farmers, these are people who were skilled at growing crops. Not everybody could do that. So what ended up happening was, when they put these other people who didn't know what the hell they were doing, well, guess what now? If you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna grow shit. And at the end of the day, if you can't grow it for just not even for yourself, you're not going to be able to grow it for a group of people. So in turn, that's how we got the starvations. hold on for 1 second. I just want to see if mm, okay, let me just see. Hold up. Let me just send one message. Okay, so let's see. Do I want to talk about this last story? Do I want to talk about this last story? Let's see. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about, since they're comparing this to 9/11, how there's plenty of conspiracy theories about 9/11. And, I'm just closing some of these windows. So, like that, when I showed this story again, it doesn't freeze. But here's the whole thing. When it comes to 9/11, I'll be honest here. I've never believed the official story. I'm of the opinion I'm a lie hop type of person. And people, if you're not a 9/11 truther, then lie hop means let it happen on purpose. Lie hop. That's at the very minimum. I won't go into all the conspiracy theories, but that's the lie hop conspiracies of 9/11. And there's similar theories with what happened on October 7th in Israel. But the Washington Post, says that Hamas wanted a major war. And, it goes here, new evidence reveals that Hamas planners intended to strike a blow of historic proportions on October 7th with the expectation that their actions would compel an overwhelming Israeli response. Several officials who had not previously spoken about the matter said the intelligence about Hamas's motivations has become stronger in recent days. Chances are good that Iran, which helped plan the war, promised support on other fronts through proxies. I'm not surprised. You know what? Okay, I'm tired. I'm gonna be honest with everyone. I think I'm gonna leave it here, and who knows? Maybe Marissa come on next week, so she couldn't um, make it on in time. If not, I will find someone else. If not, you'll get to listen to me for the half an hour to 45 minutes. Okay, so that being said, let me remove this here. And hope everything goes. Hope you guys have a good week. Take care and take care of each other. And wait, what did this is why I don't get involved with Israel Palestine drama. Um, I'll be honest. I have a bias. I have a soft spot in my heart for Israel and the Jews, only because I grew up in the Lower East Side of New York City. For people who don't know, it's uh, not so much anymore, but it used to be a really big Jewish neighborhood. And growing up, I grew up with a synagogue right next to me, right next to where I lived, and I grew up playing baseball and different sports with Jewish friends, and and my first job was given to me by a Holocaust survivor who had a tattoo on his forearm. So, do I have a bias? Yes, but I'm not one to shy away from my bias. I go, um, I look at it this way: you have you have all these Muslim countries. You have what? Let's say at least 50 Muslim countries. Just putting a low number out there. Say you have at least 50 Muslim countries. There's only one Jewish country, and the Muslims do not like that they have just one country. They have all the land surrounding Israel, but they can't let go of that just that one land. And it's not even their holy of holies lands. That's Mecca and Medina is their real holy cities, not Jerusalem. Jerusalem is holy for Jews and Christians. They have their uh, Dome of the Rock, but it's just about it's about Abraham. It's supposedly the rock where Abraham went to sacrifice Isaac, which they could all, which if you, like I said earlier, if you look into the history, that is where the temple, the second Jewish temple, no, well, the first Jewish temple was built, then the second Jewish temple was built, and then where the Dome of the Rock was built. So who's occupying the land? If Solomon built the first temple and then Herod built the second temple during the Roman times, so I mean, Jews were there from before Solomon, but let's just say from the evidence of the first temple to evidence of the second temple to the evidence after the temple was destroyed, Jews were living there. Okay, Muslims conquered the land and then took it over. Well, let's say the Jewish people took it back. So does that mean so then who does the land belong to? The people. Which conquered people does the land belong to? Does it belong to the Muslims who conquered it? 1,000 years ago, or does it belong to the Jews that conquered it 75 years ago? Who owned it 1,000 years before that? Just some thought there. So, anyways, so that's where I'll end it. That's my spiel. And I hope you guys got some entertainment, some education value on this, and hope to see you guys next week. Have a good one.